Holding space is about showing up authentically and creating safety in the moments that matter most. From parenting littles to navigating friendships and partnerships, I reframe tantrums, conflicts, and messy feelings as invitations to connection. I'm Julia Clark, a psychotherapist and play therapist with over 30 years of experience walking alongside children, families, and the people who care for them. Each episode explores the building blocks of emotional literacy, co-regulation, and boundaries, while honoring the intergenerational stories we carry within. Blending science with lived wisdom, I believe growth is playful, healing is possible, and we are all learning together. When we say, I'm upset. Today, we're talking about something that shows up in nearly every session I hold, in almost every conversation I have with parents, partners, educators, and therapists. We're talking about the power of emotional language, especially in our closest relationships. I'm sure we have all used the phrase, I'm upset. But what does that really mean, and how does it help others understand what we're actually feeling? Today, we're going to talk about using emotional language and how to not only tune in to feel and understand what messages our bodies are bringing forward for us, but also how to deepen connection with others by being able to take this wisdom and being brave enough to share it. When we say I'm upset, it can mean so many different things. Angry, disappointed, sad, worried, maybe not good enough. Often, I'm upset becomes a catch-all for the tangle we're feeling inside. But when we slow down and say something more specific like, I'm feeling really frustrated, or I feel unheard right now, or I'm feeling worried about what might happen next, we create space for connection instead of confusion. Using clear emotional language helps us understand ourselves and lets the other person know what's really going on beneath the surface. And this matters deeply, because when we don't name what's happening, it often comes out sideways. I can't believe you did that. You never listen. You're always making things harder. These statements often push people away and leave us feeling misunderstood and alone. But when we can tune in deeply and say things like, I'm feeling overwhelmed, I'm feeling disappointed, I'm feeling lonely, we invite connection instead of conflict. Using emotional language is not about never getting upset or being calm all the time. It's about how we speak when we are upset. It's about taking responsibility for what's happening inside of us without handing it to someone else to carry. In my work with children and families, I see how powerful this is. When we model emotional language with our children, we're teaching them that feelings are safe to name. We're also giving them the vocabulary to express what's happening inside their bodies and hearts. We're helping their nervous system find calm, safety, and connection. I often remind parents, if we want our children to be able to name and manage their feelings, they need to see us doing it first. What can this look like in action? Let's slow this down. Take a deep breath with me. Check into your body. I'm going to share a story that happened recently. I was in my office with a friend and colleague. We were in the middle of a difficult conversation. I felt something come up and I asked for a minute. I closed my eyes for a moment and identified a wave of sadness in my chest. I took a deep breath and I shared this feeling with her, the physical sensation. I then said I wanted to just sit with it for a minute and see what else came. When I did, not only did the physical feeling pass, but I also had some insight come forward about why I was feeling that way. After another deep breath, I shared this insight, and our conversation took a different turn. Not only was I able to show up and fully see and honor myself in that moment, but this colleague witnessed this process unfolding, and it shifted how they chose to respond to what I was sharing. They wanted to hold space and honor what was coming up. I believe it truly deepened this interaction and allowed us to end in compassion rather than conflict. To recap, these physical sensations are often the first signs of an emotion asking to be named. If I were in a conversation in this moment, I might say, I'm feeling anxious. I really care about this, and I'm afraid I'm not getting it right. Or, I'm feeling sadness. I want to feel connected, and I'm scared we're not on the same page. That simple shift changes the tone of the interaction. Instead of blame or defensiveness, it opens a door. To give a parenting example, you might walk into your kitchen. As you approach, you see it's an absolute chaos. There's snacks on the counter, backpacks on the floor, your child is yelling for help, and the baby is crying. Your body tenses, and the urge to snap comes on fast. Maybe you want to say, "Why is this always such a mess? You never listen." But instead, you pause. You place your hand on your heart. You take a deep breath. You tune in, and you may say something like, I'm feeling overwhelmed. I need a minute to think about what we need to do next. Or, I'm feeling frustrated because I was hoping to come back into a calm kitchen. You're not dismissing the reality, you're naming it. And in doing so, you're showing your children that feelings can be expressed without blame. You're modeling emotional responsibility. An example with a partner may look like, you planned a special dinner night, your partner is late, again, and the dinner is cold. You feel hurt, with the urge to say, you don't care about me at all, but instead, you breathe. You may say something like, my feelings are hurt. I was looking forward to this time together with you. This doesn't erase the disappointment, but it keeps the conversation open. It creates a space for repair instead of escalating disconnection. An educator example, your classroom is buzzing with energy and your body feels overstimulated. You could yell over all the noise to regain control, or you could pause and say, I'm feeling overwhelmed by the noise level. Let's all take a quiet moment together. You're modeling emotional awareness and regulating the environment with your presence. Your calm becomes the co-regulation in the classroom. A therapist example, you're working with a child in session and they throw a toy across the room that zings past your head. You notice your body tenses, your breath catches. Instead of reacting sharply, you name internally, whew, I felt really startled. I'm feeling tight in my chest right now. I just need to take a quick breath. You ground yourself first. You take a slow, deep breath, and then you set the boundary if you need to stay in your window of tolerance. You might say something like, toys are not for throwing at my face, or let's find another way to show me what's happening for you. Your regulation supports the child's regulation. You might be wondering, why does this matter so much? I believe when we use clear emotional language, we anchor ourselves in the present moment. We reduce shame, blame, and escalation. We model vulnerability and courage for our children, our partners, and those we care about. We create connection, even in moments of conflict. I often share with parents and therapists that feelings that can be named can be felt and moved through. Feelings that are unnamed often get acted out. This isn't just for children. I'm sure we can all think of times when someone close to us, or if we're really honest, we ourselves acted out our feelings rather than clearly voicing them. Naming what's real inside of us is a gift to ourselves and those we care about. It's not about being calm all the time. It's about creating clarity and connection, even in those hard moments. Invitations for you this week. When you notice yourself saying, I'm upset, take a pause. Tune into your body. What sensations are there? Look for heat, tension, discomfort. Ask, what is this really about? Try naming it. I feel angry. I feel lonely. I feel scared. As you do this, notice what shifts in your body and in your relationships when you use clear emotional language. Often even just doing this in our own heads can shift the feeling and release it. But saying it out loud models this to our children, partners, and others we are in relationships with. It allows them to see us clearer, more honestly. Using emotional language is not a trick to get your child to listen or your partner to agree. It's a practice of showing up with honesty and softness, even in the messiest of moments. It's an invitation for connection, to clarify, to repair, to hold space for what's really happening. If you're curious about how to bring this into your family, your classroom, your practice, reach out. Let's keep learning together how to slow down, name what's real, and build the kind of connections that last. If the content of this podcast really resonated with you and you'd like to go even deeper, I'd love to invite you to step into this work more fully. Beyond the podcast, there are many ways that we can connect. Individual therapy for your child, parent coaching or support for yourself, and deeper I Am sessions that explore intergenerational patterns. Additionally, I also offer webinar workshops and weekend retreats for parents, classes, intensive trainings and supervision for therapists, and large group presentations for educators or school presentations. Each are designed to help us hold space for the next generation of children in safe, attuned, and meaningful ways. You can learn more and explore what fits best for you at clarity.family.